For the very first time ever, I'm giving away the exact set of slides that I use during my social media workshops that I present all across the UK as a music marketing coach for the likes of Pirate Studios, Punch Records, Bradford Producing Hub, and so many places that I've been honored and blessed to speak at, but I've never put this online before. And so if you've ever attended one of my workshops, I hope you enjoy this recap of my exact blueprint to go from 0 to 100,000 plays in 60 days. And so I want to start by just telling you the story of the first time I hit 100,000 plays on a campaign. So I want to just dive into the story of 4 different artists I've worked with over the last decade. And each of them have a different strategy how they were going to do it. So artist number 1 was going to do a long radio tour of 3 weeks, driving around and speaking on all the different radio stations. Artist number 2 did an incredible music video. Artist number 3 spent a fortune on ads. And artist number 4 had 0 budget, and they had to rely on organic social media. And so the artists who chose radio, they racked up an incredible bill. You know, they had the radio plugger who arranged all the interviews, and they were using their relationships, and, you know, they're the top of the market. So they cost around 10,000 to 14,000 just for the plugger. Then the girl group that I'm referring to, I'm not going to name any names, I don't want to get sued. They had to have, you know, transport to get to all these cities. They didn't want to take the train. They had to stay in fancy hotels. So they had a tour bus that would drive them city to city, but they didn't sleep on the bus. They stayed in a hotel. They had food and drink and petrol, and that alone cost $6,000 to just travel around the UK. Then they had a music PR campaign to be all on the big blogs and all the big YouTube channels and all the reviews. And that was expensive as well, costing somewhere between £7,000 to £12,000. But this girl group struggled to sell 100 pre-orders at 99p. I'm showing my age a bit here. And so I realized that press and radio without communicating to your fans isn't the best approach. Artist number 2 chose the music video. And like I said, this was an incredible set. It was filmed in this massive warehouse. There was the location hire alone and like a big filming crane. That must have been like at least, you know, $6,000 to $12,000 for all of that location. Then you had the director, the video editor, the runner crew, and all of the staff, even catering. That must have been at least £9,000 to £14,000 just for that. Then they had the stylist and makeup and hair, and again, I'm estimating between £2,000 to £4,000. They thought this music video would break into the Channel AKA, Channel U, MTV kind of hourly playlist, but it didn't. So I begged the artist, please put it on YouTube and I'll run it up with the ads. But they'd spent all the money on the video production itself. And to this day, that video hasn't ever crossed 1,000 views on YouTube. And so I realized production alone isn't enough to take you to 100,000 plays. Artist number 3 chose playlists, and they had an incredible amount of money that they were dumping into playlist companies. And they had something crazy, like 8 different companies on the go at different times. A UK team, a US team, like a European team, and then a South American team. And all these different playlist companies, they charge you a monthly retainer. But the minute they remove you from the playlist after your time is up, your daily streams drop off a cliff. And all the same time, the artist had a crazy Facebook ads and a YouTube ad budget. Then they gave me like 18K for Facebook and 25K for YouTube. So I was running up the views, but guess what? The song got deleted at 10.4 million streams. Somewhere there was some fake botted playlist happening and the song was removed. So think how much money was wasted making it look like this project had been popular. And artist number 4 had 0 budget, me. And so I was a young 18-year-old DJ. I'd been uploading mixtapes on SoundCloud because I was an artist once upon a time before I ever became a marketer. That's why I feel like I know your pain, because I've been where you've been before. And I was making these little remixes. So I'd take an acapella, take an instrumental and merge them together. And after my 3rd copyright strike on the 13th of August, 2015, my account got deleted. No warning, 3 strikes on the same day. No way to recover the account, no way to get in touch with support, no way to recover my files, no way to tell my fans, just gone. And so I started a brand new mix on a brand new account. I tried a different strategy. I wrote a really long paragraph from the heart, what this mixtape meant to me. I'd been dating this girl at the time, and, after 2.5 months, she just killed it off out of the blue. And so I made this mix, and it was about having a cup of tea and just reflecting, thinking, positivity. I wish you well, but I wish we'd never started this in the first place. And so in that paragraph, it got to 109,000 plays on SoundCloud. First time I ever crossed 100K. And that's when I realized is that you have to start with the story, right? And just by explaining what I was going through, the community got behind me. You've lost your account. Let me help you get your followers back. You've been dumped, right? Let me help you spread the word, because it feels like you've made a really beautiful mix here. And wow, these songs are all carefully picked to exactly describe what I'm going through in my life, what you're going through in your life. I'll share this to someone who needs to hear this. So there's 3 different talking points as the messaging in this campaign. And so I'm going to teach you how to do the exact same, how to become a 100K hitmaker. And to me, that's the definition of someone who crosses 100,000 streams for the very first time in their career. And in 2025, I took a couple of people to 100K in the summer, from July all the way to December. So I took Stardom to 640,000 views on YouTube. I took Kelly Lee to over 100K, Hira to 128K, Ratlin to 372K. I've worked with Ratlin 3 times and they've all crossed 400K plus now. Neo21, 144K. Beth Brandy with Barcelona, 230K. But it's not a one-trick pony that it's only on YouTube. I've taken Marley, gosh, this is small. Marley had 187,000 streams on YouTube. Saloni had 115,000. Yemi Alade had the blessing and the opportunity to work with her, 74,000 plays. Stardom to 125,000 plays. Smiley to over 490,000 plays. And Kelly Lee to 71,000 plays. And so I want to show you the process, how to do that. And so if we've never met before, I'll give you a 60-second intro to me, right? 2009, I was a DJ. I was playing 3 nights a week while at university. 2011, I became a social media intern at Grime Daily and SBTV, working with Jamal Edwards, rest in peace to him. And then I went into Sony Music as an intern. Then from there was a DJ and was working with DJ Complexion, running the Future Beats show. I kind of at the height of the Solection era, and we had a label together called Future Beats Records. Then after that, I split from working with him and just moved on to my own thing. Started consulting for TuneCore, Amazon Music, and running all the paid ads for brands like that. In 2019, that's when I first started coaching. And I launched All About Helping Musicians as this channel, as a podcast and a YouTube channel. And then I've published my second book last year, and I'm rewriting it already. It's called 0 to 10,000 Plays in 60 Days. And so now that we know each other, we can dive in, right? Because I want to just give you that context first, that you're talking to a guy who's had 10 years or more experience in music. I didn't just start this yesterday. So the biggest lie that I think we have in the music industry is that releasing music is expensive. And when people say that, they just tally up producer costs, mixing and mastering, graphic design, content creation, and marketing. But actually, it doesn't need to be. What they really mean is you've spent your budget before you've begun the marketing. And so you've spent money on videographers, on locations, on outfits, on hair and makeup, hiring a car or extras, and you've spent money you didn't need to spend. And so I think we need to reframe what that means, because the methods that you think are driving your streams are not working. You may have gone for a cheap PR agency or a cheap radio plugger or a cheap playlist promoter, but you get what you pay for. You don't get any results because you're not investing in the right people. And so I want to show you something greater that I almost guarantee will change your life. And it's not getting to 100,000 plays, it's getting to 100,000 monthly listeners. And there's a massive difference because hitting 100,000 plays once is not the long-term goal. I will not be teaching you how to do that once. I will not be teaching you how to go viral. I will not be teaching you how to trick the algorithm into giving you plays. If you want that, find another coach. Because how much does that pay you? 100,000 plays once. What does that give you in earnings and revenue? Well, Spotify pays in 2026 0.004 per stream, which means that £4 is for 1,000 streams and £40 is for 10,000 streams. 100,000 streams is £400 and it's £4,000 for 1,000,000 streams. But it takes a lot more than £4,000 to get to 1,000,000 streams. So if you've spent anything more than £40 on your release and you're not at 10K, congratulations, you just lost money. And so the maths doesn't maths. So we need to think of a better way to earn money and a better way to invest into our music. And so I believe the best method is to hit that 100,000 plays every single month. I know it's not a perfect science because this is unique listeners, but just indulge me. 100,000 streams times 12 months of the year is £4,800. And don't worry, I'm about to show you how. And so if you can do it once, you can do it every month. And so that's not enough to quit your job money and become a full-time artist, but it is enough to stop you from paying from your 9 to 5 to fund your music. And there's a massive difference. So I want you to look at it like this. Streaming is your invitation to the party. But once the guests arrive, they keep paying for more. You pay for entry, you pay for the cloakroom, you pay for drinks, you pay for food, and then you pay for a taxi home. And so that equates to, gig tickets and merchandise and VIP experiences and more. And so really, we just need to get better at making our party worth being invited to. And so what is that big secret? Is it radio? Is it music videos? Is it playlists? And remember, we've talked about that at the start. Like it wasn't for those three artists. So everything I'm about to teach you is inside my book right here. It's called 0 to 10,000 plays in 60 days. And I'm writing the second edition right now. I'm going to make it 10 times better and call it 0 to 100,000 plays in 60 days. And so you can get everything you need inside this book for £6 off Amazon. If you're at less than 10,000 plays, I won't work with you. I'll just direct you to this book. If you're at 10,000 plays or 30,000 plays and you want to jump to 100,000 plays, that's where I can help. And I promise you, I've tested every possible release rollout strategy. I've done it all. I've done the once a week Rust strategy, putting out 52 songs in a year. I've done the song a month strategy where you do 12 songs in the year and you announce it in week 1, release it in week 3. I've done bi-weekly, tri-weekly. I've done fortnightly. I say I've done it all. Believe me, taking me a decade. Plus what other music industry gurus recommend. The really long pre-marketing phase where you hype it up for 1 to 3 months and then you drop it. I've done the shotgun release where you do no pre-marketing, you just drop the thing and start promoting it once it's out. And none of this really worked for me. So I started to measure the science behind the music. And I mapped the perfect life cycle of a song. And this is what I observed, is that you have attention on the y-axis and you have time on the x-axis. So when you start a campaign, you want to build up hype. So you're growing and growing and growing, growing, growing. Then you release it and you continue to build hype once it's already out. And then naturally over time, it fades off. But if you squash too many release dates together, try and do a song a month strategy, it starts to look like this. Is that when you are still driving traffic to song A, it's time to start building the hype for song B. And when song B hasn't got enough plays, you need to start on song C, and you probably haven't filmed any of the content. So then you push back the release date and then you break your song a month strategy and then so much goes wrong when you try and squash too many dates close together. But what I imagine most of you might have done is you're like this. You've spread your songs too far apart. So you did a single, and you built up the hype, you dropped the song, and then your attention has fallen back to zero. And 1 month, 6 months, or even 1 year later, then you come back with a new song or a new EP. And it feels like you're starting from zero because you literally are. Your attention has gone back to nothing. And so when you listen too much to what the music industry says, I just stop listening, right? Because I've heard all this kind of bullshit before. So you should do a pre-save. You should post 3 times a day. You should do a visualizer, not a music video. You should film loads of micro content, no long form content. You should edit inside the TikTok app. It's better for your reach. So they tell you things you should do, but the person telling you doesn't do it themselves. You look at their LinkedIn, their Instagram, they haven't done what they're telling you to do. Or people say what you should not do. So they're like, don't post too many times before release. Don't announce too early. Don't leak too much of your song. Don't run ads. It messes up your algorithm. So you're telling me what I mustn't do, but now I'm confused. Like, what should I be doing? And so artists get confused. Like, you might be feeling like your head is spinning with all this conflicting advice. And so when people say you should release music every 6 to 8 weeks, as someone with ADHD, that baffled me. Because I'm like, tell me what to do. Don't give me 6 to 8 weeks. Tell me definitively. I need to know a science. So that's what I mapped out, is an 8-week song release strategy. I'm going to go through it with you. That's why I had to give you all that context to give it to you like this. And so you want to start with 2 weeks of planning and production, right? And so in that, you're going to film all your content and edit all your content. And I could talk for a whole hour just about this 2-week period. And if you want to know more, click this video right here for a full breakdown of just that 2 weeks. Then you have the song announcement, and you'll start 3 weeks of pre-marketing. And that is ideally 1 week around the instrumental, storytelling, and then 2 weeks around the verse. Have you ever scrolled on TikTok and you've seen a great song and they're just hammering the chorus, the chorus, the chorus, the chorus, and the song comes out and it's shit? The only good bit was the chorus, right? And so what I've learned from that is the verse has better storytelling anyway. And so if you start with the verse, you have new ammunition to post about on song release day. And that's why from release day onwards, the 3 weeks of post-marketing, week 4 and 5 is the chorus, and week 6 is verse 2. So if you lock in and you just do that at the start of your campaign, this is where you should be right now. If you haven't already got a release date, you can start filming. If you haven't got the song mixed and mastered, you can still start filming and just dub that perfect song over right at the end. As long as you sing in time to your song or lip sync, right, you can dub the perfect version over at the end. And so let's just focus on the 6 weeks of releasing now, right? And so you'll see it's broken into 2 halves. Pre-marketing and post-marketing, 21 days. So you're going to need 21 pieces of content. 7 days in a week, 3 weeks to plan for. That's 42 bits of content in total. If you're posting 5 pieces of content or 2 pieces of content thinking it's enough, I'm categorically telling you you're going to be disappointed with your results. If you try and hit 42 posts, I can be very confident the one thing you're not going to have a problem with is awareness. People will be aware you have a song out. Whether they're convinced to listen to it is the next problem. But most of you are suffering that people don't even know that your song is coming or even out. So you got to fix the awareness first, then you have to fix the persuasion later. And I do things differently as a coach. I run ads in pre-marketing to increase the views from your perfect target audience. So UK R&B fans, for example. Then in post-marketing, I drive streams and I retarget, so I go after everyone who is engaged in pre-marketing. And if this sounds complicated, drop me a DM with the emoji 100 and I'll be able to help you. And if you hit the link in the description below, there's a way you can book a call with me and discuss your ad strategy and we can take it off your hands. If you're a good fit, we'll hop on the phone. If If you're not a good fit, I'll just save you from wasting your time and say you're not quite ready, maybe in the future. And so let me just break down some of the posts you'll be making in this process. So week 1, day 1, you're going to do a power image. That is you holding up the artwork of your song. So you could do it on a laptop and make an excited face. You could hold it on a TV, or you can point to a billboard that you photoshopped, or you can go to the print shop and print out a massive artwork on card. Then in week 1, you'll be playing these instrumental teasers where your 8-bar loop is playing at the beginning of the song and you type a long essay on it. What this will do will increase your average video watch percentage, and it will be something crazy like 300-400%, because to read all the text, people watched multiple times. And so that signals the algorithm it's the high performing post, and it does really well. As long as your writing is what people want to read, as long as the video is eye-catching enough, you will get views on this bit of content. The reason I showed this bit of content is because the art direction physically manifests the meaning and the emotion of her song into life. She's basically saying, the boy, you went out on a night out and you didn't check in with me. So now what you did, I'm going to do double, right? And so she's physically arguing with the male partner and she's heading on a night out. And this is an amazing way of creating content around the verse because people get what it's about. The second example is what I call the sentence plus performance. I won't play the whole thing, but it's basically a country artist talking to the camera and she says, this is the meaning of my song. Then she performs the song. And this is one of the most iconic ways that you can build storytelling around a song, is by introducing in the most authentic way what it's about. Not sounding rehearsed and poised and fake, but just saying it real how it is. On release day, I have artists do 2 different posts. In the morning, an out now post, holding up their phone with Spotify now playing, getting it early like 9 or 10 in the morning, so you're getting likes the whole day. You don't want to wait until 7 o'clock in the evening to announce your song is out. You'll lose 15 hours of potential streams. And so you're holding your phone now playing your song. In the evening, you're unveiling the chorus for the very first time. And what this does is it allows people to see that, oh my God, your song's finally here. This feels like marketing. And you see this first edit with Tion Wayne is very fast, dynamic editing. This second example here is just in the studio, like fixed camera angle with a little bit of shake. And this third example is in a content studio and the artist is booked to shoot. So you're unveiling the chorus for the very first time with your second post on release day. Morning is the out now post, evening is the performance reel. And you're going to make content like this for the next 21 days once the song is out. And finally, in the last week, you're going to do the second verse. And what this does, it creates a brand new talking point. If there's a bridge, if there's a middle 8, if there's like a pre-chorus, right? Or you're just literally going to use verse 2, an alternative timestamp of your song that people can gravitate into. This is the way you're going to structure your next song release if you trust my system. Like I said, I wrote the book on how to release a song. I've worked for a decade doing these campaigns. I do know what I'm talking about. And I want this to impact the way you market your music. And so this is how it looks like in principle. 0 to 10,000 plays on one song in 60 days. 2 weeks of planning and production. And then 3 weeks pre-marketing, 3 weeks post-marketing. That will get you to 10,000 plays, right? Any artist with any number of followers, if you follow this to a T, it will work. And so, again, reminder is 21 bits of content in the pre and 21 bits of content in the post. So what is that first step? How do you begin a campaign like this? I said it before, we start with the story. And that means that really tapping into the meaning of your song and creating content around that. So what's your next song about? Like, just tell me in a couple of words. Like, let's understand what it means to you. Don't tell me about the Sonics. I don't care if it's like an R&B song with, it's inspired by Michael Jackson. Like, what do the words mean? This is what I want you to tell me right now. So here's an example. You can write into ChatGPT something like this, and I want you to do it yourself. I've written a song called Fade Away, or song title here. I need some help explaining what it's about and the key messages / talking points. This is the real example from a client. To me, Fade Away is about a relationship that is slowly breaking apart, and as each partner is owning up to the mistakes they made, the love that held them together is slowly fading away. So then you get these talking points about what your song is about, and that's going to inform your strategy, that you're making content about each of the talking points. So the acknowledgement of mistakes, the need for a deeper foundation, the slow separation, the unresolved tension. So when you're shooting your content ideas, don't just make content that looks visually good. Make it content that tells a story. So slow separation could be you and your partner are not together. There's physically a divide or a wall or a phone call between you. Right? Unresolved tension is you're arguing. Right? Deeper foundation means like you're holding hands and watching TV, but you're looking at your phone on the side. Right? It really bringing the meaning of your song to life. And then you take the second part of this prompt, which I've just put up here, so you can screenshot this if you want to. So the first part is the talking points. The second part is give me some examples of headlines. Once you've done this, I want you to use a song release date planner. And I've got a free download you can have how to do this when you buy a copy of the book, right? And so you type in the release date and it automatically calculates when to announce the song. It counts when to start pre-marketing, when to start post-marketing. And I've made some updates to this so it has the day you have to pitch to playlists as well. Then it forecasts your next release date. So when you program your next release date, you have between the 18th of February and the 4th of March to film new content. A nice 2-week window. If you need more, move the release date back. And you can keep doing this entire process and forecast your entire album worth of release dates and have a work back schedule when to make your content. You can then go into my viral artist playbook, which only my clients have, and you can search. I've now made this into a software. You can search for, breakup content, and it will show you all the breakup content inside the playbook. And I've categorized things by content to excite. So hearing myself on the radio for the first time. Content to educate. So where I was emotionally when I recorded this song. Content to entertain. So when you think it sounds shit, but your sound engineer says, trust me. Content to engage, like which verse is better, verse 1 or verse 2. Like all of these ideas are a repeatable system. Next, I want you to build a content day shot list. So a very simple Word document of location 1, High Street, and all the Instagram videos you're going to create in that location. Then location 2, all the videos you're going to create. Location 3, 4, 5. You give that to your videographer and say, study these before the shoot. And you bring some sort of phone or an iPad to the shoot so they can watch them before each shot. Study the composition. Study how much space to leave above your head. Study the angles to film at and so much more. And you have to do one of these to have a great shoot day. What you cannot do is just rock up at a location and wing it. You need to have a shot list. The number one thing I recommend is get the content from your videographer the same day. So go to a cafe and dump all the footage on your hard drive before they start editing. The worst thing that can happen is you don't own your footage. I want you to start dragging it into folders. So a pre-marketing folder and a post-marketing folder. And that is based on your timestamp. So week 1 is the instrumental, week 2 is verse 1, and week 3 is maybe the pre-chorus. And so you have a content structure for folders before you even get home. What you can't do, in my humble opinion, is have all the content in one place and feel so overwhelmed to go through it that you never do. That's not going to help anybody. So if you do the shot list by, we did the chorus, we did the verse, we did the intro, I can drag it into the relevant folders. Then you need to keep a content calendar up to date. And this is the number one thing I recommend, is that on any business I consult for, the day one task is build a content calendar. Because you are an artist, you are a brand. Because you are a brand, you are a business. Because you are a business, you need to operate like a business would. So that means running a content calendar, not in your head, not on your phone, but in Google Sheets or in your diary. And this has a couple of different columns. So one is the day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so this has a couple of different columns. Number one is the day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Number two is the date, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Then have you posted this? Yes or no? Tick once you've posted it. Then a platform selection. Is it Instagram only, TikTok only, Instagram and TikTok? Is it a single photo for Instagram? Is it a carousel? Is it a story? Is it a YouTube video? Is it a live? So you know what each post is on each row. Then you have a description. So instrumental teaser, photo shoot, instrumental teaser, walking, instrumental teaser, gym, and so on. You identify it so that you know how it makes sense. Then you have post readiness. That's my personal favorite bit. So whether it needs filming, it needs editing, it needs subtitling, it needs my feedback for the artists who work with me, it needs re-editing after my feedback, or it's ready to post. Because I tell you the truth, if you can get one song to 10,000 streams using this approach, then you can get 6 songs to 10,000 streams each by doing the same process throughout the year. So January, February, where we are right now. March, April, your second song off the EP. May and June is where most artists are dropping their EP. The song is a focus song, so they're releasing the 3rd song of the year, with song 4 and song 5 also dropping the same day. That's for an EP. Some artists are doing song 4 in July and August, song 5 in the album in September and October. So 5 singles, and then the remaining 5 tracks get released, and then November, December. On top of this, you add remixes and features, and on top of this, you add deluxe versions and all sorts of other things. But this is a foundation of your year, you guys. 6 big singles, and everything else is on top. And so your catalog begins to compound. This is what is the number one thing that's going to earn you more money in 2026 and beyond, is dropping a song, getting it to 10,000 plays with effort. In March, you can drop another song, 10,000 on song A, 10,000 on song B, but if you do a waterfall strategy, you're also going to have 5,000 streams on song A, because after auto playing a new song, it will play into your old song. Then in May, you drop song C, 10,000, 5,000 on song B, 5,000 on song A. Now you're at 20,000 monthly listeners. Then in July, you drop a great song. It was going to bang because you put effort into it. People are in the routine. So that song is going to do 30,000 streams. Your last song is going to do 10 and then 5. Now you're at 50,000 monthly listeners, and so on and so on and so on. You're consistently growing and compounding your work. But what you can't do is take too many breaks. You can't start back at 0 again. You can't give up if it doesn't start working. You can only push on the gas harder. And like I said, your life will change forever when you become a 100K hitmaker. So that's £400 earnings, which is 100,000 streams, times 12 months in the year. That is £4,800. But the secret, right, is that it's not from one song. What will happen when you release more music? So 10 songs with 10,000 streams each, 20 songs with 5,000 streams each, 50 songs with 2,000 streams each, or 100 songs with 1,000 streams each. Guys, most of you listening to this haven't even dropped 10 songs ever. Right? That's how you compound your catalog. You simply put out new music. 10 singles, you probably got them on your hard drive right now. And if you planned for the next 1.5 years, 6 songs in 2026, 4 songs in 2027, you've got to 10 songs. You can even do more than that. That's just the bare minimum standard to compound your catalog. And so I want to ask you, what was your biggest takeaway from this? What's the number one thing you're going to change about the way you release music after joining this social media workshop? I hope is that you're going to plan a song campaign. I hope is that you're going to run ads. And if you need help with that, me and my team can help. If you hit the link in the description below, you can book a call with me and see if we can fit and help your goals. So if you're trying to achieve 10,000 to thread, so if you're trying to hit 10,000 plays for the first time, we're not going to hop on a call. I'm going to save you in. So if you're trying to hit 10,000 plays for the first time ever, I'm going to save. So if you're trying to hit 10,000 plays for the first time ever, I'm not going to waste your time or mine. You can grab a copy of this book right here off Amazon, and that will teach you everything you need to know. If you're trying to jump from 30,000 streams to 100,000 streams, that's where my team can plug in, because we're going to accelerate you rather than teach you the foundations. And so DM me the word 100 as a little emoji. If you want to find out more, my name is Social Media Ayaz. That's how you can get in touch. If not, I can't wait to give you more slideshow-based presentations like this that's going to fundamentally make you a better artist. So huge love from my side for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world tonight, but you're locked into the end of this little lecture.